Let's be honest, something feels off. You don't need to be an insider to sense it. The energy, the tone, those radio calls, it's just a little too cold, not angry, but tense. Way too tense. And this isn't about a bad car setup or a race strategy that needs tweaking. No, this feels personal. And it's starting to show. It started subtly. A strange pause here, an odd tone there. But then came Monaco. End of the race. Hamilton cracks open the radio. Are you upset with me or something? Silence. No response. Not a glitch. A full-on silence. That moment, you could feel the millions of fans squinting at their screens like, wait, what? Hamilton laughed it off later, shrugged it off as nothing. But when a seven-time world champion has to ask if his own engineer is mad at him mid-race, you start asking questions. Flashback to Miami. Things got tense quickly. Ferrari hesitated with team orders. Hamilton, stuck behind, was fed up. Have a tea break while you're at it. Ouch. Then, just a few laps later, Ferrari told Lewis to give the position back. You want me to let him pass too? This wasn't a heated moment. It was ice-cold sarcasm. The kind of sarcasm you only drop when you feel unheard. Enter Montoya. Not known for holding back, the former F1 firebrand went full throttle, saying what others won't. Maybe it's time for Hamilton to ditch his race engineer. His words? Lewis needs to get angry, demand change, make people around him nervous. Not subtle, not polite, but maybe not wrong either. Montoya even suggested that Adami's silence wasn't just awkward, it was unprofessional, and that if he were with Ferrari, that kind of behavior would have gotten the engineer removed from the pit wall, not left in charge. So here's the truth. There's tension in that garage, and there's pressure on both sides of the radio. But there's one driver who's starting to look like he's got a big decision to make. What if Lewis is thinking of making a switch, but Ferrari won't let him? What if this whole situation is a power struggle we haven't even seen play out yet? And what happens when things boil over mid-race when it really matters? You know those weekends where nothing goes right and by Sunday evening you're questioning every life choice you've made? Yeah, that was Lewis Hamilton in Barcelona. But this wasn't just a bad day behind the wheel. This felt different, deeper, personal. Let's break it down. Qualifying was solid, P5 on the grid, Leclerc behind him, McLaren up ahead. Nothing out of the ordinary. Lights out, and Lewis gets a clean jump, passes Russell, holds his spot. The Ferrari is showing signs of real fight. But then, just a few laps in, something's wrong. Norris disappears up the road. Leclerc is glued to Hamilton's gearbox, clearly faster, clearly waiting. By lap 9, Ferrari calls for the position swap. Leclerc's off, Lewis is stuck again. And the rest of the race? A slow fade. Lewis isn't just off the pace, he's sliding backward. Hülkenberg. Yes, Hülkenberg overtakes him. The Sauber? That's not supposed to happen. When the checkered flag drops, Hamilton's voice crackles through the radio. I believe we've got something wrong with this car, mate. It's the worst it's ever been. Let that sink in. Not bad day, not tough balance. The worst it's ever been. Even Verstappen's penalty promotion to P6 didn't lighten the mood. In the press pen, Hamilton isn't angry. He's not ranting. He's not lashing out. He's blank, shrugging off questions, shaking his head. No fire, no fight. Just, it was terrible. When asked about what's next, he doesn't mention Canada, doesn't talk about setups. Just one word, home. And when a reporter dares to suggest Ferrari might have answers for him, he responds, I'm sure they won't. It's probably just me. That's not frustration. That's resignation. And it leaves us wondering, is something fundamentally broken in that Ferrari? Has the team lost Lewis? Or has Lewis lost the team? And can upgrades really fix a nervous rear end when the vibe in the garage is even worse? You can usually tell where Lewis Hamilton's head is at before he even opens his mouth. It's in the tone, the posture, the way he pulls off the helmet. In Barcelona, it wasn't just frustration. It was something heavier. Let's walk through it. Friday's free practice wasn't a disaster on the timesheets, but listen to the radio. That car is not drivable, mate. That's not strategy talk. That's not tire management. That's a driver who feels like the ground is shifting underneath him. Ferrari suspected a downforce issue. Lewis called it a bad day, but added that with the fix, Saturday should improve, and it did for a while. He outqualified fifth on the grid. Positive energy. He even said he was going Allen for the podium. But by the end of Sunday, well, things fell apart. The race started clean. Hamilton muscled past Russell, tucked in behind. But it didn't take long to see what was really happening. Faster, clearly, visibly. On lap 9, Ferrari made the call, swap positions, and just like that, Charles was gone. Off to a podium finish while Lewis got stuck in no man's land. No pace, no answers, no grip. And then came the final insult. Overtaken by Nico Hülkenberg's Saba on the final lap post-race, the radio message was brutally honest. Unbelievable, guys. There's something wrong with this car, mate. It's the worst it's ever. Music bin. Standing in front of the cameras, Lewis wasn't angry. He looked disconnected, asked how he felt. He didn't hold back. I just had a really bad day. Nothing else to say. And when someone tried to stay optimistic, suggesting Ferrari might get to the bottom of it, his answer was colder than expected. I'm sure they won't. It's probably just me. But here's the twist. Team boss Fred Vers says Hamilton wasn't wrong. There was an issue with the car, something that affected the final stint. He just didn't want to go into detail. So now we're left wondering, was this a one-off glitch or a deeper problem brewing at Ferrari? Is Lewis losing faith in the car or in the team behind it? And when a 7-time world champion starts saying, "It's probably just me," is that humility or something else entirely? It was fiery. It was messy. And for a moment, it looked like Max Verstappen had zero regrets. The Spanish Grand Prix served up more drama than a season finale of Drive to Survive. And just when we thought the dust had settled, Verstappen dropped a statement that's turned a lot of heads, especially at Mercedes. Let's rewind a little. Late in the race, the tension was boiling. Max was running hot, both on pace and on emotion. He cuts the track to hold off George Russell. The team tells him to give the place back. But what does Max do instead? Boom. Sends it straight into Russell's Mercedes at turn 5. Race stewards weren't impressed. 10-second penalty, 3 penalty points slapped on his super license. And Max, after the race, cold as ever. No regrets, he said. Business as usual. Classic Verstappen. Or so we thought. Fast forward 24 hours. Max hits social media and suddenly the tone shifts. Some moves after the safety car restart fueled my frustration, leading to a move that was not right and shouldn't have happened. You win some together, you lose some together. Hold up. Max just admitted fault. On the record, even Christian her liked the post. And if you know her, you know he doesn't like anything unless it's part of the plan. But here's where it gets really spicy. That clash didn't just cost Max points on the track, it nearly cost him the next race. The man's now sitting on 11 penalty points. One more, and he's banned. Yes, banned. One more misstep in Canada or Austria, and Verstappen's watching the race on the couch. So now the real question. Was this a heartfelt apology, a PR cleanup job, or is Verstappen just trying to avoid the biggest suspension headline since Kevin Magnus got benched in Baku? You decide. But we're watching, and you should be too. Hit that like button if you're not here for sugar-coated PR. Drop a comment. Should Max be forced to sit out if he crosses the line again? And don't forget to subscribe to Paddock Insider, where we don't just report Formula One, we expose.